Welcome to the Passive Solar Construction section of Introduction to Renewable Energy. In this section, we'll be talking about passive solar. There are many different definitions for passive solar, but generally speaking, it is considered to be a solar heating system that is a part of a building's structure or design. Usually, there are no fans, pumps, or controllers involved. Rather, the building's windows, patio doors, and maybe even a greenhouse become the collectors, and the walls and floors of the building act as thermal mass, becoming the storage component. We'll discuss what is passive solar construction, how is it made, and various types of passive solar. So first of all, what is passive solar construction? Essentially, it is a solar heating system that is part of a building's structure or design, using construction materials and techniques that use the sun's energy to heat and light a building. A passive solar house is a super insulated, energy-efficient home with a large percent of its windows facing south and a floor plan designed around this arrangement. In passive solar construction, the building's windows orient to the south mainly, and to the east as well. Western windows overheat the building during the summer, and northern windows create a lot of heat loss in the winter. Passive solar construction takes careful planning involving 5 basic solar design principles: proper southern orientation, overhangs and shading for the summer months, proper insulation, the proper amount of windows, and sufficient thermal mass. The most common mistake for passive solar construction is too many windows. Too many windows, also called overglazing, for the amount of thermal mass capacity, results in a home that is always too hot or too cold. When overheating happens, you would be forced to open windows to ventilate, losing the benefits of the free heat and the comfort. In order to take full advantage of the sun for passive solar, we must first understand the patterns of the sun. During the summer, the sun's apparent position in the sky is much higher. In the winter, the sun's apparent position in the sky is much lower. This affects the angle of incidence, which is the angle at which the sun's rays strike the southern windows. For this reason, you must have sufficient overhangs for the summer sun angle, so in the summer, the building does not heat up. For passive solar to work well, it is also good to have a lot of thermal mass inside the building to store the solar heat and radiate it even after the sun has gone down. This could be done using concrete floors, sand beds under the floor, thick tiling, or lots of thermal mass inside the room. During the day, the sun shines through the windows, warming the thermal mass. At night, the heat slowly escapes from the thermal mass, keeping the building warm even throughout the night until the new sunlight appears. Overhangs must be sized correctly. If they are too short during the summer months, your windows act as a cooker for, well, you. If they are too long, your home will be dark and cool, not only in the summer, but the winter months as well. Shading can be provided by other methods, including cover panels over skylights, insulated drapes or shutters, which can also prevent heat from escaping at night, exterior shades, awnings, or the proper vegetation. Another form of passive solar can be a trom wall. A trom wall is a south-facing wall built from material that can act as a thermal mass, which stone, concrete, adobe, or water tanks can be used, combined with an airspace, insulated glazing, and vents to form a large solar thermal collector on the wall. During the day, the sun shines through the insulated glazing, warming the thermal mass. At night, the heat slowly escapes, warming throughout the night. Modern trom walls have added vents to the top and bottom of the interior wall, allowing heated air to flow via convection into the building. The vents move heat away from the surface, reducing thermal losses at night and improving heat gain. The vents can be closed in summer months when you don't want the heat gain. Another form could be a sun space or a sunroom. This would be a room or space with lots of windows for solar gain. During the winter months, the room would be shut off from the outside, creating a greenhouse effect inside the room. The room could be open to the rest of the building, allowing the greenhouse-affected air to flow into the building, heating it. During the summer months, the door into the building would be closed off and the outside door would open and let warm air out of the sun space or sunroom. The truly great thing about passive solar construction is that it allows natural lighting while keeping a climate-controlled environment. This reduces electrical consumption and improves the mood of the home while being kind to your pocketbook. Additional considerations that should be taken into account when planning for passive solar construction are the placement and types of vegetation, the color of the exterior, insulation, window selection, and vines. Trees on the south side should be deciduous, allowing the sunlight to pass by during the winter months and blocking the sun's rays during the summer months. Vines are perfect for blocking the summer sun as well, and will lose their leaves during the winter months when you want the sun to enter the home. Light-colored exteriors reflect the summer sunlight, reducing the heat gain during the months that you don't want it. Proper insulation is key to passive solar construction. Having the perfectly concocted passive solar building won't make much difference if it isn't insulated. That is just like leaving the house open year-round. Insulation will prevent the passing of heat. You should insulate every surface between your living space and the outside world. In the next section, we'll be discussing solar thermal heating systems.